Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket tens. We've got two limpers to me on the button. This limper, first time at the table. I have one hand on him. Based on the stats, we have limp and call to raise with 6-4. So we're looking at, I'm going to go with something something like this, early position. But if he called with 6-4, that means we're looking at something even wider. Maybe like all the suited aces. 23.5%. This player, I've got 37 hands on him. He's playing 32-3. Definitely doesn't seem like he raises much, so I'm going to take out queens plus ace king. Give him a range, looks something like this. Again, just kind of difficult to pick out what he's playing this with. We also have limp and call to raise with 9-6. We do have that in here. So now it's on me. And we look at our ISO raise, and it looks something like this. So we could always ISO, and then we have optional ISO. And this is a 10NL game, and since I'm working on trying to increase my raising and 3-betting range, we're going to go ahead and say this is my entire raising range here. We're going to be raising it to at least 5, probably 6 big blinds. I think here probably I would prefer 6 big blinds, but I'll take 5 for now. Blinds fold. This player calls, and I'm going to say if he's limping in with that, he's probably calling with that same range. But then villain 3 folds, so I'm going to guess when he folded, he's folding a lot of these other hands, a lot of these weaker hands, so probably getting rid of all of those, probably all of those, maybe these hands like this. And again, with one caller already, he's going to probably play a bit tighter, so he's got one of those hands that just doesn't want to see. So it's heads up. Two of us, limper versus my tens. So flop comes down king 6-3. And villain 1 checks. So here we have 10 of hearts. I'm not surprised that he checks. Our range should have his range beat. So the question is, if I bet, what would he call this with? If I bet he's calling with a king, do I think he's probably calling with underpaired? No, I think this will be one bet and I pick it up. And I guess that's okay. We can go ahead and bet all of those hands, but sometimes I'm going to say we can mix it up on a hand like this. Now again, if we had kings, that'd be great. We figured we're going to probably not get called. So, I think one of the reasons why I might check would be to try to encourage a bet. We're looking at avoiding an ace, a queen, a jack. So 9 cards is probably what we're looking to dodge. So I'm going to say if I bet, we should be betting for value. All those top pairs. Probably these middle cards are probably going to be like somewhat value, somewhat bluffy. Same thing with the middle pair. But definitely our flush draws, our gut shots, open enders, probably a 2-card backdoor flush draws we could throw in there, especially if we assume that these pocket pairs are all value type hands, and then these lower pairs are all bluffs. So we're looking at making a cbet that looks something like that, 50-some%. And we're probably going to pick it up quite a bit. I didn't do that, and I'm not sure if I like that or not. I understand why I did this, to say if I'm going to check my big hands, I'm going to probably check the rest of these as well, hoping that I can make like a delayed cbet here. Because I don't expect him to be hitting this. So I understand the delayed cbet aspect of it. So we checked, 8 of hearts comes out, villain 1 checks again. At this point, he's not taking the lead. I think I would have appreciated if he would have bet. So here, I'm going to think that since he didn't bet, he could probably check with a flush. but I think he would have probably taken a stab with like a set or two pair. I think most players would have, but I think the flush, they're probably looking at like check raising the flush. So I think the checks there, set two pair, no, probably not. I think top pair probably bets as well, but then he probably also has all of those. So just gonna kind of exclude those. And now with that 8 of hearts, we do have a 10. I think lone hearts could bet. I think this should be a spot where we bet now, and I didn't. I think when we go for a delayed cbet, I think we're still going all of our value hands now. We're going our flush draws, probably our open enders as well, and our gut shots are going to be tossed in there. Maybe not all of our flush draws, so not second, not third, not probably the weaker flush draws. That's going to probably add a few too many hands in there. So maybe what we do is we reserve our third nut for some of our check behinds. So something like this. So I think our 10s now are still good. And we're still probably not going to get any extra money unless villain pairs up in some case somehow. So I'm going to say that no longer, I don't have any of these anymore. So we're going something in the middle, which still makes me ahead of his range. And the 8 of clubs comes. Villain still checks. At this point, I think we should bet. We missed it last time. I think we should bet. So let's see here. Once he checks, we're excluding the flush, but I think he could have all of those. So now if we bet, what do we think he's gonna call with? So we're betting those, and I think we're betting those, and we're hoping that if we bet, he's gonna call with something like these weaker pairs. Maybe a weak pair, maybe an ace high hand. So let's break that up. So we beat those, and then we split with 10s. So yeah, if that's his check calling range right there, you could see that we're beating 65%. I think we should go for value bet. I didn't. So then villain shows 6-4, so that was part of his hand. We had it in there. And I think we lost value. So we already have, the auto notes here, but I think it's worth it to add again. So he limp under the gun and call button ISO 5 big blinds with 6-4 spades, and then out of position check on a king of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 3 hearts, 8 of hearts, 8 of clubs. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the cbet. I think once we check on the flop, we should be betting the turn, and definitely probably betting for the river for try to get some value. We don't know if villain's going to be calling, but maybe he calls it to bluff catch, and he doesn't have to call very strongly at all. He could call with these low pairs, which 6 might be a calling hand. He's going to protect against ace queen ace jack, or at least in his mind he's thinking maybe I have ace queen ace jack. So that was some missed value. But in any case, hopefully you enjoyed this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.